Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Literacy Through Art projects every Wednesday and Friday. Today I thought it would be fun to show you guys how to make your very own story dice. I don't know if any of you are familiar with story cubes, but they're little die with images on them, and you roll them to help you come up with story plots. And there are a lot of other games like this, other storytelling games. I don't know if you guys know Telltale, those use cards, but I think that using story cubes or games like Telltale are always really fun because they help you come up with stories that you weren't really expecting. The images that you roll, you have to include in the story that you're telling, whether you're writing that down or just playing with your family. And they help you come up with plot twists you weren't expecting. They make you think outside the box, and therefore you come up with really interesting and surprising stories that you yourself weren't expecting. So today I'm going to show you guys how to create your own story dice, and how you can use that as a game to play with yourself or with your family. What you're going to need is a dice handout. I'm going to link it underneath. I already drew my images on this one, but it looks like this, but blank. You cut it out. It's a PDF that I'm going to link so you guys can print it out. You can print out as many copies as you want. One printout makes one paper cube that you're going to use as your dice. And so you're going to need the handout. You're going to need scissors. You're going to need glue. And you're going to need things to draw with. So here are some examples of the story cubes that I made. Here's the little castle, tower. I made an iPhone, I made a clock, a speech bubble, a ghost, and here's another one that I made. Fishbowl, a Christmas tree, a pencil, where is that? A pencil, like a science flask that you do experiments in. What you're gonna do is come up with your very own images that you're gonna draw on each square of your dice. They can be places, they can be landscapes, they can be animals, they can be weathers, emojis, other symbols like, you know, the speech bubble, and try to come up with as many different image ideas as you can, because the more images that you have on your dice, the more creative your stories are going to be and the more fun the games are going to be. So what you're going to do first is print out the box template. You're going to cut it out so that it looks like this, and then within each box, there are 6 of them, you're going to draw a different image. So I drew a heart, a house, a flower, a cloud, a piece of candy, and a sun. You should have 6 different images on each dice. On the dice, you can have themes if you want. So one dice can be just places, one dice can be just animals, one dice can be just emojis. And hopefully that will help you come up with ideas. You can also just do it super randomly like I did. Like this dice has a pencil, a Christmas tree, a fishbowl, and some other things that don't go together, but try to be creative and come up with a bunch of different ideas, because like I said, that'll make the game more fun. So once you've drawn all your 6 pictures, and you want to make sure that you do that first before you fold, because it's going to be difficult to draw once you've already folded it. You're going to take the template, and you see these dashed lines. You're going to fold every line that has those dashes, including this one. I know it doesn't have a dash, but you should fold this one over too. These little tabs are going to be where you put the glue on, so that your box stays together. And these lines, they help you figure out where to fold and how to assemble the box. And try to cut out the box template as neatly as you can, and try to fold as neatly as you can, because the more precise, the better your boxes are gonna come out and the better your dice is gonna look. So I have folded everywhere the dashed line told me to fold, as you can see. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take all of these tabs. Oh, I forgot one. You're gonna take these tabs right here, and on all the tabs you are going to put some glue. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna put glue on all of the tabs. And make sure you put a lot, because this is what's gonna hold your box together. And I am putting on all the glue at once, because once you start assembling your box, it's gonna be really hard to put the glue on. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna start to assemble. I have glue on all of these little tabs here, and you're gonna start folding, and it's supposed to look like a cube, so let's see how I do. You can see that, I don't know if you can see that, it's starting to look like a cube. The tab is helping the box stay together. Here's another one. Just trying to show you guys how to do it. And take your time with these. And again, you can make as many boxes as you want. I recommend making at least 3, because the more you have, the more fun the game is gonna be. And also, it's fun to make these. So this is what it looks like. I just folded it. As you can see, all the tabs that were sticking out before are underneath. They're keeping the box together, and I think they look really cool. And they're really fun to make. I'm probably gonna make more to play with my family later, but right now I have 3 different ones with all kinds of different things on them, like sushi, you know, it can be food, it can be, oh, this is a UFO. You know, like a flower, it can be anything you want. And the more like random stuff that you have, more fun it's gonna be. So when you've made as many dice as you want, I'm just gonna stick to 3 so that I can get to explaining how the games work. You can play by yourself or with your friends or your family. And to play by yourself, you're gonna take the dice and you're gonna roll it and see what you land on. I got a cloud, or you can't see it. I got a cloud. Okay. Yeah, there we go. I got a cloud. And what I'm gonna do is grab some paper, grab something to write with, and use this cloud to come up with a story. So you can start, since I rolled a cloud, I can say, it started off as a really sunny day, and within 15 minutes, it started getting darker and darker and more clouds came overhead. So I took that cloud and I came up with the beginning of a story. And that's what I want you to do with all of your rolls. And I don't want you to just say like, oh, it was a cloud, or oh, it was cloudy. I came up with more detail, and and a couple of sentences for each image that I roll. That makes the story more interesting. So I rolled the cloud. Now let's take another dice and see what I can roll and see how I can continue my story. And I got an iPhone. So what I'm going to do now is use the image that I rolled the second time and use that to continue the story that I just started about the cloud. So I'm going to try to come up with a way of including both of those images into a story that makes sense. So I just said it was getting cloudy really quickly. So now I can say, I checked my phone and thought, that's weird, because the weather report says it's supposed to be sunny and hot all day. See, so I included my phone, and I went off a little bit and included the weather app, which this picture of an iPhone doesn't include, but you can take some liberties and come up with some things on your own to make the story more interesting. These images are kind of just to get your creative juices flowing. And then take my third dice. I can roll it again. And I have a pencil. So maybe now my story is going to take a really weird turn. Instead of just regular rain, maybe it's raining pencils. And the clouds are really dark because the clouds aren't actually clouds. They're pieces of paper cut out and colored in with graphite, which is what pencils are made of. And they're really gray, and they're making the entire sky gray. And now I've created this kind of like parallel universe of a world, like it doesn't rain pencils and clouds aren't made out of paper. But you can see how these story die kind of help you come up with plot twists that you weren't expecting. They force you to think outside the box and come up with stories that you otherwise would not have imagined yourself. To play by yourself, you can roll these and come up with a story that links all of the images that you rolled together. You can write it down or not, whatever you prefer. If you do write it down, you can take a picture and share it with us. Use hashtag #ILoveArtsphere Inc. You can also play with your family. Again, you can write the story that your family creates or not. What you do is the group that you're in, you all take turns rolling. The first person that rolls uses the image that they land on to create a story. So if I was playing with my family and I roll a lightning bolt, I have to start the story using a lightning bolt, and then the person next to me, say it's my mom, she rolls another dice, gets a different image, and she has to use that image to create the story. And everybody takes turns rolling, and you can roll as many times as you like, go around the circle as many times as you like, and come up with a really interesting and sometimes funny and sometimes wacky story. And it's also a lot of fun to make these story die. So that is how you make your own story die game. I know some people have their own story die, like I know my family has story cubes, but making your own is more fun and more creative. And this way you can add things that story cubes don't usually have, like sushi. I'm sure the regular story cubes don't have sushi. And for the symbols that are more vague, like emojis or a speech bubble, you can always use this to indicate that one of the characters is talking. So instead of saying, oh yeah, there's a speech bubble, you can say, oh, this is what this character said, and create some dialogue or conversation between the characters in your story. That is all that I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you share pictures of the dice that you made and the stories that you write. And I hope that you play with your family. They're really fun. I used to play these kinds of games with my family all the time, and this is a good time for you and your family to sit down and play games together, because why not? And you can brag about the cool dice that you made. So I hope you guys enjoy, and tune in on Friday at 1:30 for the next project. Thank you.